Welcome to the show starring Roman Reigns, John Cena, Randy Orton, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Bray Wyatt, Chris Jericho, Bo Dallas, the Stardust, Goldust, and the rest is pointless filler. Yep, that pretty much sums it up. This was one of those episodes of Raw where I could have skipped the entire 3-hour show and not miss a thing at all. It was just one of those type of shows. That's how I see it. That's what I think. Now, to compare this show from last week, it did have that roller coaster kind of feel. The only difference is it wasn't as good as last week's show. It kind of made me dizzy and threw up a lot at the end of it. Now, what I did like was that there were some few good things on the show that made me say this was great. But again, there were a lot of stuff that happened on this show that just didn't come off well. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that WWE, for some reason, wants to do pointless filler segments for some strange, odd god reason. But the one thing that I really enjoyed about the show was the very first segment. And I like that Triple H and Stephanie were not even on the show at all. In fact, I love how it started off with dun 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 it's something cool, it's something different, something refreshing. Thank the fuck God that they kicked off the show with Roman Reigns. And if I were to sum up this entire show, this was the Roman Reigns show, and I like that the WWE used this show to advance Roman Reigns' career, and they're doing it slowly, step by step. They've done the first segment, a backstage segment, and the way the show ended that I really did enjoy. And basically what happened here on the first segment is that I like that like I said, I like that Triple H and Stephanie were not on. We didn't see that boring 15 to 20 minute dragged out promo. What I like is that this opening segment ended up in a brawl. Here you have Roman Reigns come out and he's picking apart his opponents at the next pay-per-view battleground for the title, saying that I'm just going to go through Orton, no bullshit. I'm going to go through John Cena, no bullshit. I'm going to go through Kane, no bullshit. And I like that when Roman Reigns speaks, he doesn't need to speak at all. I like that he's now becoming an aggressive baby face. The fans can get behind him. And the less talk Roman Reigns does, the better. To me, he has more impact in his style of wrestling and as he is as an overall performer. That's how I see it. And here you have Kane come out, and he doesn't need to say a word at all. Here you have Roman Reigns call Kane Triple H's lackey and Triple H's bitch, and the fans are invested in this first segment. And Kane comes in the ring, and they start going at it. Here you have refs come out trying to hold back Reigns and Kane, and one of the refs gets chokeslammed. And here you have Roman Reigns swooping JB Noble off and spearing Finlay and Superman punching Kane. This was really good. This wasn't your 15 to 20 minute sleep fest, bore fest promo. This kept it very short, simple, and sweet. The 3 S's. And I think that the WWE needs to do more of this. Do more of a variety on your show. The only thing I probably would have changed is maybe have the entire locker room and come out and try to separate them, because they're two such big, huge, massive guys. it would have to take a lot of people to hold back one of them and hold back the other guys. So, like, I don't know, 10 for one guy, 10 for another guy, total 20 guys. Here you have 22 guys in the ring. Probably would have made it a lot more exciting, but I like that this was exciting. It felt refreshing. It felt something different. This was, like I said, we need to do more of this stuff. Maybe, why not, next week on Raw, kick off the show with a match instead of a promo. Now, one thing I will say before I move down the line on this review is that there were 11 matches on the show. To me, that's just way too much in-ring work. To me, when you want to produce a Raw, you can't have too much of one thing. You need to mix it up. Do a promo and then match, promo. Match promo, do something, mix it up. I know you got backstage segments, but please, we need a lot more mic time than in-ring time. That's just how we see it, and a lot of it has to do with having the same matches over and over again. For example, the Wyatt family versus the Usos in a non-title match, even though this was a great, outstanding match. I mean, these two teams, every time they're in the ring together, it creates something really good. I mean, you have the Usos flying everywhere. You got Luke Harper really improving in the ring. The Wyatt family, both these teams have great chemistry. They never really have a bad match. That's just how I see it. And like I said, to me, this would have been a lot better if you want to develop and advance a storyline between these two teams. I mean, why not have the Wyatt family attack one of the Usos backstage, and you have a 2-on-1 handicap match with the other Uso, and the other Uso wants to get revenge. You could have done that, and it don't happen. You could have even incorporated the Usos' father, Rikishi, here, but probably involve Bray Wyatt here, and have a 6-man match where the Usos are doing most of the work and Rikishi's not doing so much. I mean, you could have done that. The point I'm getting at is that you could do more ways to develop and advance a storyline instead of doing the same match over and over again. Come on, WWE. Put some effort into make something exciting instead of having a damn match, the same freaking match over and over. I don't even know where I'm at now. Oh God. Okay, here I am. I don't know what that was all about. I don't know. I think I'm just ticked off on how Raw was terrible. Don't believe me. Oh God. Moving on. I'm going to get back on track here. Moving on to Nikki Bella. Moving on to Nikki Bella versus Alicia Fox. To me, this, I don't know what to make of this at all. I mean, here you have, in order of the authority, both divas have to have one arm behind their back, tied behind their back. Now, what should have happened here is that as soon as Nikki Bella got their one arm behind her, tied behind her back, Alicia Fox should just, boom, be aggressive, be all over, wash her down, do this and that and this and that. But this just came off very, very weak. This was poorly executed. Alicia Fox's craziness wasn't so crazy here, and here she takes a couple of soda cans or bashes them together like Stone Cold and pours it all over Nikki Bella. I don't know about this. To me, this was, like I said, very poorly executed. I wanted to see more crazy from Alicia Fox than I got. They could have done a lot more with this. Moving on to Rusev versus Rob Van Dam. Now, even though I I like that RVD was kind of respectful on the part of WWE. He got a few licks in. To me, this would have been a lot better because this was in Montreal, Canada. And if Rusev and Lana wanted to get nuclear heat, why not talk about something that's going on in Canada to get a reaction? Maybe, I don't know, something about gay rights and about legally gay marriage here in Canada. Probably to get the nuclear heat, but no, we gotta be careful. We don't want other people involved because this is an entertaining show. We forget this is an entertaining show, blah, 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 blah. And you could have incorporated Pat Patterson here, maybe, I don't know, use Tyson Kidd as a device for this segment to advance for Rusev here. I don't know, they could have done so many more things with this segment. This just came off as an easy win for Rusev. Moving on to Randy Orton versus Dean Ambrose. I'm very hit and miss on this match. On paper, this looks really, really good. I mean, here you have Dean Ambrose, who is now establishing his character as an individual, and here you have Randy Orton, a guy that for the past few months has been treated like a chicken shit heel. And I'm actually okay with Randy Orton winning this match over Dean Ambrose for that reason. Now you can argue that you could have had Ambrose go over, definitely, to advance his storyline and have his momentum. But in the same time, this is just one loss for Dean Ambrose. It really doesn't really hurt him all that much. And I think Randy Orton needed this clean win over Ambrose. The only problem I had with this match was that there was just something off. Even though I liked the little things Dean Ambrose was doing throughout this entire match. I mean, the rake of the eyes on Randy Orton's face on the top rope, the way he executes moves is very lunatic worthy. There was just something off. I don't know if it was the dynamics or the chemistry, but something wasn't gelling with these two wrestlers. I don't know. There's just something I can't put my finger on. Moving on to Dolph Ziggler versus Alberto Del Rio. And for some reason, it was a good idea to put Fandango on commentary. And this was a number one contenders match for the United States Championship. Alberto Del Rio goes over here, no surprise. And like I said, you can't have too much of the same thing. Another match between Dolph Ziggler and Del Rio. Separate the two of them, please. Even though I like the two of them in the ring, they do work together, great chemistry together. We need different matches between Ziggler and Del Rio. Put them against different people. Just do it, please. And for some odd god reason, Dolph Ziggler is distracted from Fandango's dancing on top of the announce table. Why? Do you have some sort of band crush on him? Are they going to do this Brokeback Mountain thing? Develop a relationship with Fandango and Ziggler? Really? Is WWE really going to go there? Probably not. Moving on, we get to see Bret Hart. Oh, jeez. Anyway, what happened was that Bret comes out. He talks about having one more match, and he wants to feel that rush again. He wants to have one more match. The fans are red hot for Bret Hart. Here's the thing: the Montreal fans at one point were red hot. It seems like that the fans here in Montreal have just been toned down. If this was like maybe 10 years ago, they probably reacted a lot more than they did on last night's show. I'm just saying. But overall, to me, this segment was pointless filler. It was a waste of time. And you know how the WWE thinks of Bret Hart when they put him in a filler spot instead of the 2-hour time slot. Ugh. And here you have Damian Sandow coming out posing as a Bret Hart. and talking about how Bret Hart is not really wasn't never a well-spoken speaker, and he gets punched for it. And if you thought that was worse, it got worse. Here you have Sheamus come out in a bathroom break jobber squash match, beats Damien Sandow, and Damien Sandow looks like a total you-know-what here. This was ridiculous. There's no need for this crap. Moving on, Jericho versus The Miz. And I'm kind of torn on this as well. Basically what happened here is that you have The Miz in a backstage segment before this match took place, and he's reading a letter from a fan-made letter that he received, and he's talking about how this person does not want to see The Miz leave the WWE, and he wants him to be the main event of WrestleMania, which is probably going to be never. But I like it. I like that The Miz is finally back as a heel that he should be. Hell yeah, this is awesome. However, I think this would have been a lot better if they waited this out maybe just a little bit more. Instead of having this match on Raw, why not drag it out a little bit, at least till Battleground, and then at SummerSlam, develop the feud between Jericho and Bray Wyatt. Now, with that said, you could have done something else here with this segment. Even if you had Chris Jericho and The Miz working a one-on-one match here, you could have had something along the lines of Bray Wyatt coming out and destroying Chris Jericho without having The Miz being pinned or gaining the victory over. And you can see it that way. You can also see it the way of having Chris Jericho win a match. Where he actually looks credible, because why bring back Chris Jericho when he's only going to jump out to someone and then leave? To me, that makes no sense. To me, Chris Jericho should have a little bit more credibility. Have him win a couple matches here or there. I like that they did it here, but in the same time, they could have waited this out till Battleground. A short mini feud. And you have the bigger picture of the much larger feud between Chris Jericho and Bray Wyatt. Now, what happened at the end of this is that basically The Miz gets lost in the shuffle once again. He gets pretty much buried here. He's going to be probably end up being forgotten. This sucks because The Miz just came back. It's a lose-lose situation here. I mean, or lose-lose-lose depending on how you see it. And here you have Chris Jericho have The Miz being tapped out to the walls of Jericho, and then Bray Wyatt comes out. He cuts his promo saying, "Save us, Jericho, but you can't save yourself. Actions speak louder than words." And Chris Jericho comes back and says, "Will you please shut the hell up?" And he's talking about how he's going to come down there and kick Bray Wyatt's ass off his rocking chair. And I like it. I like that we didn't need a real dialogue between the two of them. I like that they teased it, and I like that they didn't touch each other as well. It makes the feud a little bit more special. And I hope that the WWE does drag this on till SummerSlam and not have this match at Battleground. Please, don't do it there. Leave it to SummerSlam. Moving on to the Funkadactyls versus Paige and AJ Lee. And this was interesting because here you have Paige and AJ Lee. And AJ Lee is practically faking her friendship for AJ Lee here, announcing her as an in-ring announcer. And you also have the thing going on between Naomi and Cameron, them planting the seeds of having them split up. So I like what's going on with the Divas division, which I'll explain a little bit more. But what I like here is that Cameron was being such a bitch. You just wanted to just say, go away, never come back. That's what I like here. And that's the reaction that I got. And you know you're doing something good when you get that reaction. Kind of like Bo Dallas, which I'll get to as well. But I like what happened here. I like that they pushed aside the feud between AJ and Paige here, and have Naomi and Cameron have their say and develop their rivalry going forth to Battleground, and leave AJ and Paige at SummerSlam, and like I said, I like what they're doing with their Divas division. There's practically 4 feuds they're building up here. You have Paige and AJ Lee, Cameron and Naomi, this, for some reason, this god-awful love triangle with Fandango, Summer Rae, and Layla, as well as maybe the possibility of Stephanie McMahon and Brie Bella, and you also have Alicia Fox going nuts. So there's a little bit of hope in the Divas division. Hopefully they play these feuds out as time goes on. Moving on to Cesaro versus Kofi and Kingston. And the one thing that I actually did like is that we got to see this match result in a pinfall victory on TV instead of the WWE app. Good jeez, that was terrible last week. Come on. But I like what they've done here. I like that the WWE decided, okay, we're going to put this result on TV instead of, oh, we got to check out the app and see what happens. No, they've done it here, thank God. And you have Kofi and Kingston win again. Positive for him. But on the flip side, why in the bluest of blue hells are they booking Cesaro, losing match after match after match, and trying to build him up as the next Intercontinental Champion? To me, this makes him look weak and stupid. They're not building him strong enough. Come on, WWE. This is typical WWE bullshit, and you think if it was a good idea for him to align himself with Paul Heyman, well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Moving on to the most awesomest, funniest part. Bo Dallas was the star of this show. Hell yeah. Bo Dallas 13-0 FTW. Here he goes one-on-one with El Torito. He wins here, and I love this entertaining match. I like that Bo Dallas not only got the win here, but in his victory lap, he runs over El Torito. And he doesn't even flinch. This was awesome. Hell yeah. I like it. And I'm just sold with the whole Bo Dallas gimmick. Overall, I enjoy it. Week after week, WWE, please continue down this road with Bo Dallas. Make him this parody accidental star and have him go on this awesome streak, at least up until WrestleMania, and just have Goldberg come in and squash him. That'd be funny. I love what they're doing here with Bo Dallas. Even with Stardust here, I like that backstage segment with Stardust and Goldust here. This was amazing. I like how something is so bizarre and so different, and yet it works. Cody Rhodes made me forget that he's Cody Rhodes. He's Goldust. He's owning, Stardust. He's owning the role of Stardust. No hesitation whatsoever. This is awesome. But the one thing I thought wasn't awesome on the show was the constant plugging, and oh say plugging. Where's that plug? I don't know. Of the WWE Network. I mean, come on. Is WWE really desperate here to get freaking subscribers on their network? Oh man, what's going on here? Anyway, I'm just going to move on to the main event. Here you have John Cena versus Seth Rollins. Oh boy. Now, I always like to harp on Sting applying his Scorpion Deathlock, or whatever he calls it, because he's an old guy. But come on, John Cena, would you please apply the STF a lot better, or just not do it at all, for the love of Christ? Even though this was a decent match, there were some things that made me cringe about it. And not only that, this main event I probably could have skipped overall, because this was just a way and a device to advance to developing stories here. And the weird thing is, as this second the camera panned on the entrance during John Cena and Seth Rollins in the ring, I just knew, boom, Kane Pyro. This was predictable as crap. Here you have Kane come out And here you have Randy Orton attack John Cena from behind. And it's 2-on-1. Here you have Roman Reigns comes out. And he's taking out Kane and Randy Orton. Superman punches 1-2. Rollins attacks Reigns and Cena. And here you have the Rollins about to attempt to cash in. And here you have Ambrose and his timing of having him come out and trying to screw up Rollins' plans. The only thing here is, if you really want to screw up Rollins' plans and cash in, wouldn't you want to wait until he actually cashes in and then really screw him over? That would have made a lot more better to me. That would spark the rivalry a lot more. Instead of using the briefcase and having the briefcase on the line in a match between Seth Rollins and Ambrose, why not use the Money in the Bank briefcase, but in a way to further advance and have more excitement involved in the Ambrose and Rollins feud? For Christ's sake, WWE, do something that makes me look forward more. It's not that hard. And then, of course, the show ends where you have Cena and Reigns do a little stare-off, a stare-down, if you will. And when Cena raises Roman's hand, the crowd cheers. And when Roman Reigns raises Cena's hand, the crowd boos. That just goes to show, WWE, that just goes to show. I think at WrestleMania 31, that's your main event. John Cena as the champion versus Roman Reigns. And you have Roman Reigns win the title there. That needs to happen. Roman Reigns, this will be his year, I think, in my opinion. And this Raw episode really showed it. Even though this was not an overall entertaining Raw, there were some good things that I did enjoy. A lot of it was just pointless filler. Come on, WWE, put some effort into it. And I'm going to pull a Bret Hart. This show was 4 out of 10. And if you saw this episode of Raw, what did you think about it? Feel free to comment below. Let me know. While you're at it, you can hit that subscribe button down below this video. You can also follow MRB Wrestling on Twitter. And you can like us on Facebook at the Mick Rock and Bolt Wrestling Review Show. And on a final note, to all you viewers watching, get plenty of rest and always do your best.